It's Monday, friends. How are you today? Hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're looking forward to some really fun stuff this coming week. Boy, fireworks. It's the best way to explain what we're looking at today. Fireworks, and it's a lot of fun because so much of it means that we are indeed winning. Good news. Yeah, there's a lot of good news today. We're going to share a lot of it. We're going to get into a lot of the different stories and let you know sort of the things that are going on. And before we do that, though, let me bring on this guy, my co-host, the amazing, the friendly, Louis Herms. There you are, Louis. How are you today?
Friendly?
Friendly.
You ruined my reputation if you call me friendly.
You could be called friendly. It's okay.
I guess. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? How'd you do?
How was your weekend?
Extraordinarily busy.
Yep.
Got a lot of work done, especially Sunday. It was a very long day, but it was worth it. Something very, very big on the horizon. I think everybody will really appreciate that we're working on. In fact, I'm on location in Los Angeles. This will give everybody a little bit of clue. We're at a recording studio, and we're doing something in regards to the Unity project. So hopefully we'll be able to show that if they're singing in there. Since this is the culmination of what I wanted to get together. So if I need to be in there, I guess I should say probably a little bit more, but I also am dedicated to we the people, and that's why we're here today.
Yeah, you are the producer there after all, and they're looking forward to getting a little direction probably. So glad you can join us at least for part of the show. That's going to be fun to have you here as always. And there's a lot going on. There was a story that kind of caught my attention. It came out yesterday, I think it was. This one here, where our friends over at Google, they accidentally deleted a $125 billion Australian pension fund. Yeah. UniSuper, an Australian pension fund that manages $125 billion worth of funds and has 647,000 members, had its entire account wiped out at Google Cloud, including all its backups that were stored on the service. In a joint statement, UniSuper CEO Peter Chun and Google Cloud Global CEO Thomas Kurian expressed deep regret over the incident, reassuring members that no personal data was compromised. But you have no money.
It's not compromised, So okay, so here's the question: it's assuming that's true, that everything just got deleted. Where exactly would the money go? Because Google doesn't run a digital currency bank, right? So the money's still there in the accounts. They're just going to have to do their due diligence, and the fact that you would have that much in funds and have your backup run by the same company seems extraordinarily suspicious to me.
It does. And there was a later story that they started to recover the data on Thursday, but they don't know how long it's going to take before people will start to see their money appear back in their accounts again. Their money's not, like you said, the money's not gone. It's just the account information. Your account is there. You've got your name, but no balance because they don't know how much you had. So yeah, it's very suspicious, and apparently it was something they're calling it a glitch in Google's cloud service. Apparently they didn't renew their contract, is what happened. So Google cut them off.
I hate when that happens.
You didn't pay your bill this month. You're out of here.
You didn't pay your $29.99.
Where are you?
You lose billions.
Yeah, we see stories like this all the time, and it brings up this idea that maybe you should be investing in gold and silver. And Midas Gold Group is a sponsor of our show. Matt Geiger is the guy you want to speak to over there. You can reach him at 480-725-0536. Talk to him whether or not you should be holding some precious metals, because oh boy, if your accounts are on Google or out in the world there in cyberspace. Are they really safe? Are they really secure? I keep seeing these stories, and it doesn't make me too comfortable.
Yeah, the good news is physical silver and gold won't disappear when your digital footprint disappears.
That's right. You'll still have something to work with. You know, you could think of it in terms, I was thinking about this morning. People say, well, how much should I invest in gold and silver? And you know what? Maybe what you want to do is think about it in terms of what your monthly expenses are and, you know, have 2-3 months stored in gold and silver, because the financial system collapses. It's not going to stay collapsed. Something will get rebuilt, but there'll be a period of time, you know, between that. So if you had, let's say, 3 months of what your expenses are stored in gold and silver, that might be enough to get you by, to get started. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think people are getting smart, though. They're starting to catch on to this stuff.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I am so glad for that. Hey, before we get started, we should mention our buddy who's Kevin Pascoe. He's really behind the scenes guy. He's been doing so much for us. He's going through a little health issue right now. If you could send him some prayers, that would be much appreciated. He'll be okay from what we understand. I think he'll be fine. Just a bumpy ride to get there. So this was Kevin at NEB. He actually helped us with the cameras and get everything set up so we could do our show. But he's always the guy behind the cameras, and really hoping and praying for his quick recovery. Now, you've been talking to him a little bit, haven't you, Lewis?
Yeah, I have. Well, and it gets kind of interesting. In fact, I should read his response on my text message. But I woke up this morning about 4:15, and I saw
when the
Kevin
house was shaking.
Oh, I didn't. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I woke up and I saw Kevin in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I had no idea he was in the hospital. In fact, what I thought I was seeing is maybe something in the future. We're doing something, because then I saw myself having to move on and have other people take care of him. It was really weird. Like it was a dream while I was awake. Right.
Right.
I know they call them daydreams, but this is something different. And then I got a text message just a few hours later that he's in the hospital. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, you picked up on
it. That was crazy, right? So the collective consciousnesses were real. He's in great spirits. He's on what hospitals do best, and some really great painkillers, and he's having a good time currently. And we'll see. We'll update you with what he allows us to update you with.
Yeah.
Here, but great guy. We're going to do a lot of stuff with Kevin in the future. And so, yeah, definitely prayers with Kevin and his beautiful wife, Karen, too.
I was having the thoughts about him yesterday when I was about the farm and doing, you know, chores around here. And I was thinking about Kevin a lot. And I was like, I got to call him. I don't, it's been a week. I haven't talked to him. And, you know, he just kept popping up. And well, maybe that was why. Maybe he is, you know, we're all connected. It's really fascinating. It's like when you look at it, how deeply connected we all are, and we think we're all separate. We've all got these egos. It's like, no, we're all part of the same soup. So,
yep, absolutely agree with that.
So, any prayers you can add Kevin to today would be much appreciated, I'm sure. Prayer does work, right? We know it does.
I know it does.
Yeah. All right. Real quickly here before we get too deep, screwbiggov.com. Go have a look there. Lewis has got, I don't know, did you get a new TikTok account after you got banned, or you haven't gotten there yet?
No, I just haven't had time.
Okay.
It's funny, too, because all my friends and our acquaintances are sending me TikToks through text message, and I can't look at them. Because when I click on it, it says your account is banned, and it yells at me every time.
Oh wow!
So I have to reestablish a new one, which I'll do. I'm on the road, as you know, today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'll get around to it when I get around to it, and then they'll ban me again, and then I'll get around to it when I get around to it, and then they'll ban me again. But you know, it's just, this is part of the war. We can't get upset with this any longer. It is part of the process. I sure can't wait for the day when I find out if it's the good guys or the bad guys that are banning me. Because at this point, I really have no clue.
Oh boy, that's kind of the theme for today. We don't know which side is which side anymore. It's kind of crazy. But I want you guys to encourage you to go over to screwbiggov.com, follow everything that Lewis is doing, including getting your swag for the new season. Summer's here. Maybe you want a new t-shirt to show your colors, a ScrewBigGov t-shirt, or Remember Your Oath t-shirt. They're all there. Screwbiggov.com is where you want to go. You want to follow me? I'm on Renegade Media on Telegram. And I've been posting up a storm there over the past few days as so much has been going on. You can email me also at robert@renegademedia.tv. Always love to get emails from our people. All right. Another helicopter crash. Apparently in the fog. Not really, but apparently in the fog.
Yes.
Seems to be a new cabal theme. Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, says if we find evidence that Israel is involved in the helicopter crash of the president of Iran, we will respond beyond the imagination of Israel and its allies. More saber rattling there. So this is kind of interesting. This was Shadow of Ezra on X, and he posted this. Iran's president, Ibrahim, sought to unite the world against the New World Order. Interesting. He joined BRICS and strengthened his alliance with Russia, advocated for de-dollarization of nations across the world, supported Palestine over Zionism, promoted a Look East strategy and allied with Africa and Latin America. Now, he said here the last person who took this approach was a man named Muammar Gaddafi, who was taken out through warfare by NATO. Gaddafi wanted to build an African Union with its own gold-backed currency. BRICS is doing just that.
Yeah, so we can go right down the Israel route if we'd like to, but I think you can, even a more direct connection would be probably our CIA. Oh God, I'm in trouble now. Good thing they don't know where I am. Oh, they're pinging my phone. I'm in trouble. I'm out of here. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But the reality is this has three-letter operation written all over it. And as you know, we've talked about several times Muammar Gaddafi on this program, and I've done a deep dive on that situation there. That was I believe, a CIA Hillary hit. That was because they were doing everything to make themselves look like a very successful sovereign country. And then what do? The West demonizes the people that want to go against the deep state. So I don't know if this is true, what Shadow Ezra says, but it sure seems to fit the model, doesn't it?
It really does. And here's a quick video. Actually, it's a little bit over 2 minutes. Let's see if we can just fast forward a little bit here. Takes them a little while to get into the goods here.
I'm just getting a tan, so you go ahead and take it.
You're loving it. You're loving it. So this is a fellow. He wanted to know about the fog. All right, this is this guy's a meteorologist, and he went online and he tried to find all the information about what the weather was like at the time of the crash. Kind of interesting what he found. You'd be surprised. So he's looking for the weather there to prove or disprove that this helicopter crashed in fog, and they removed the entire day's worth of weather. No surprise.
Well, this just proves that we're in a globalist controlled corpocracy.
Yep.
And it's never been more evident than something like that. When the powers to be, whatever those powers are, by the way, the powers to be make a phone call to one of the largest weather channels or whoever displays the weather, and they can get them to pull a day off the chart. Isn't that absolutely amazing? And little things like that should scare the living daylights out of people.
Yeah.
Because that type of control and cover up tells you there is virtually no freedoms, and you're going to have to grasp those sovereign freedoms yourself. You cannot wait for somebody to hand them back to you.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. It's like how many strings can they pull to be able to go into the weather system that is, apparently a civilian weather system, and just go remove an entire day's worth of weather information. That tells you a lot. I mean, you're right. It does. And it's like somebody posted in the chat room, look at my shocked face. I'm putting my shocked face on now, as they know. It's like, we've seen so much of this now. It's just nutty.
Yeah, it's wacky. Hey, you want to go see if the singers are singing?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can reverse my camera. I may not be able to talk very much if they're singing.
The choir is practicing.
He'll knock out what he's doing first, and then we'll see what we can get. Yeah, just do it. This is still part of the speed course. Right. All right. So
There's Joe Rosati. You're live.
we are breaking free. Right. Right. So. Spread on the right?
Are we they do high
So there's three parts. Three parts. I'm going to stack those two as well. So let me give you this part here. High view. High view.
So they're just practicing a couple of chords right there. Hold on. There we go. Can you hear me, Robert?
Yep, I can.
Yeah, so there's practicing a couple of chords. I don't know if you could see it, but I'm just giving some direction. If you hear them like going through the whole course, let me know because I want to come in and show that live. Thank you. That was my assistant, otherwise known as the boss.
The boss.
I don't know if you could even hear that since I have my pods on.
Yeah, you can't hear it, and Zoom is also cutting it. So when who's playing the what's the piano, the organ, or whatever he's playing there, weren't hearing any of it. It was totally silent.
Okay.
So Zoom
they're
is
really
doing.
good.
They're really good. Zoom is good at what it does. I mean, the AI is perfect.
Yeah. No, I meant the choir. So what we're doing is this is a part of the chorus to the song "To Unite," and the song is about bringing unity, not just to the patriot movement, but just to people. I mean, and I'm going to be releasing something pretty special, but let's think about this. So what can we agree on? All of us can agree on, and this should be all of us. Staying the F out of it.
Yep.
And I
Louis,
support
that's not
being,
just so you know, that's not a side. You can't take that. That's not a side. They only allow you black or white. You can't have gray.
Well, and that's the Freemasonic mantra.
Yeah.
And the fact that people are wholesale jumping on the Israel or the Palestine bandwagon freaking blows me away.
Yeah.
We have not grown. If you're wearing your little Israel pin or you're wearing your Palestine pin, you have not grown. You're being manipulated. You're part of the division mentality that the Freemasons need you to be in to win this war. So, if my opinion is getting very strong on this, if you're picking a side wholeheartedly, you're deeply brainwashing. You're part of the problem.
Or you're just believing the media that you're being fed. And this is, well, who was it that said question everything? I mean, that's really where we're at. We're at that phase where that is critical to survival at this point, is to question everything, because it's really hard to know what's real and what's not anymore. Right?
Well, interesting enough, I questioned everything on TikTok. That video went viral and got us banned.
Yep.
No warning, no nothing,
Yep.
Banned. For some guidelines that we broke, when said nothing derogatory whatsoever, just asked some questions to consider, got us banned. What does that tell you guys? Where do we need to be? We need to be not picking a side. We need to really pay attention. We need to ask questions, because if that simple thing gets you banned off of TikTok, that means we're asking the right questions.
Yep.
It's very clear.
Yeah, very clear. And we're questioning the narrative, and that's really what we, as patriots at this stage of the game, need to do. And it's not easy. It's like, I get lost in the weeds too. And like I shouldn't be, but I am getting lost in the weeds and all this, because there's so much information that even our trusted sources get out of it, and they get lost too. It's interesting.
Absolutely, because okay, so I understand it. I don't appreciate it, but I understand it. And here's why. I'm going to like it back to 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the towers fall 9/11 live, I'm screaming at the TV for 3 or 4 days. I'm screaming at the TV for 3 or 4 days. That's controlled demolition.
Yeah.
After watching the news for 3-4 days straight, I was completely brainwashed and believed the narrative for over 2 years after that.
Wow.
Now, so guys, we have to understand, same thing's going on now. Same exact thing's going on now. You may not feel right about it, but if you continue to get brainwashed with the narrative, by the way, the narrative's on TikTok, the narrative's on X, the narrative's not just on CNN and Fox News. The narrative that they're trying to get you to believe is all over the place now. And if you hear that same message over and over and over, you become MK Ultra again. So we need to be more responsible and understand what the goal is. Hey, I hear that they're singing the chorus right now. So
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna take out my ear pods.
Okay.
And see if that'll make a difference. And then I'll probably disconnect after this.
Okay. I have to be quiet though.
Let's see if it's done. Lock it in.
This water? Let's get you some.
Yeah, yeah.
Water.
Well, I guess nobody wants us to see this right now live because every time I go in there, they're not singing anymore. So I'm going back out, Robert.
Okay.
Wish you and everybody else farewell. I know you're gonna hold down the fort here, and I'll be back on Wednesday.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Lewis. Enjoyed
Appreciate
seeing you,
brother.
All right.
Take care,
You too.
FPG family. Bye-bye.
All right. Whew. That was Lewis live on site. Really kind of fun to see that. He comes in wherever he needs to. And my camera's doing weird things here, so I'm going to ignore it for a moment. New camera. That's why it's got a mind of its own today. So one thing that's interesting, and we should probably look at this a little bit here too, and I'll move to even happen. Well, the number one thing that happens is in uncertain times, right? People turn to precious metals. Why? Because the currency can fluctuate, stocks can drop, a lot of stuff gets, devalued, and so they go back to a metal. So the Iranian president's helicopter crash, this is from Zero Hedge, spurred a safe haven rush among investors. The price of gold hit record highs during trading on Monday amid concerns over increased geopolitical uncertainty. It's a big thing. Geopolitical uncertainty is a big deal. For the Iranian president, gold is essentially considered a safe haven in investment in times of uncertainty. But here's the other thing. Other precious metals also advanced on Monday, with silver surging to an 11-year high of $32.75 an ounce. We weren't talking about $37 silver months ago. It's interesting how quickly the price of silver has jumped. So one of those things, you look at that and you say there's uncertainty in the marketplace. Well, where do you go? You go to the precious metals, and that's really the next step here. Okay, let's see where we are time-wise here. It's always good to take a moment and check in. Okay. I want to tell you about Pet Club 24/7 real quick. If you have not tried this for your little fur baby, you might as well try. It's really phenomenal, the results that we're seeing. You saw Friday's show, and we apologize. There was a little technical glitch on the SBG channel, and we started it 30 minutes late. Actually, it was a replay at 30-minute mark because it didn't fire like it should have. So we had a little technical issue there, but we got it up. It's up. If you want to see the interview with Kristen from Pet Club 24/7, really informative. She shared a lot of information, a lot of statistics and numbers about how our pets are being fed absolute junk. And we wonder why they live about half the lifespan of. So her company's come up with a different solution, pet food that is high in nutrition and also includes a mushroom that they've done a lot of research on, 20 years of research behind this. And what they found was this helps alleviate a lot of the ills that the animals have. You're seeing on screen Thumper. Thumper is almost 15 now and Doing really well. Complete shift after he put him on the food. He's much healthier, much younger. He acts like a kitten again rather than acting like an old, a real late adult cat. And it's so fun to have him back to his old self again. It's a blast. So if you want to find out more about it, please do go to the link in the description below, and that'll help you get involved with Pet Club 24/7. There is no monthly requirement. There's nothing to sign up for, and they do offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So should you buy something and your little fur baby doesn't like it, or it didn't work, or you're not convinced that it's going to help them, you can send it back. Few people do, because they do see the results pretty quickly. All right. With that said, there is a big story today about the charge him. You'd probably have to charge every company in New York City for something that's not really a crime. Kind of interesting. But you saw the Jack Smith case, the classified documents case, falling apart. The wheels are coming off that. Aileen Cannon, the judge overseeing that case, postponed it indefinitely. And now this week she's going to have Jack Smith come in front of her and argue why that case should still continue. Not going to work. He doesn't have anything, really. So the classified documents case, the wheels have fallen off that one a couple of weeks ago. We're looking at the, the Stormy Daniels case. I think that one will go on appeal, and it isn't going to go anywhere. There's nothing that's going to come of that. And now we're looking at this one here, this Alvin Bragg case. The wheels are falling off based on what we're seeing today. I think this thing is done. I don't know. It'll be interesting as we go forward. We're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to keep watching it because we want to know. So Cohen, his ex-fixer attorney, was on the stand today, and he admitted under oath that he stole, guess what? $60,000 from the Trump Organization by grossing up payments for tax. Donald Trump was seen shaking his head as the former fixer made the revelation, while saying he justified the stealing as self-help after getting his bonus slash. Well, you didn't get a bonus because you didn't do the job, and then he goes and steals $60,000 because, well, it was owed to him because he didn't get his bonus. That's his rationale. This guy's really falling apart. Cohen also dramatically revealed that he dealt with an apparent photo extortion blackmail attempt involving the ex-president's daughter, Tiffany. Didn't hear anything about that. Who knows what goes on in the back channels here, right? There's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on. Explaining why he stole the Trump Organization from the Trump Organization, Cohen says he was angered because his bonus had been cut. So I felt like it was almost self-help, he said, of his decision. He said he personally laid out the $130,000 for Stormy Daniels' hush money payment and then had his bonus reduced by 2/3. It was very upsetting, to say the least, he said. Asked by Trump's lawyers if it was wrongful to then steal from Trump, he said it was. A real credible witness, isn't it? So this case looks like after today, it's falling apart. And there's a lot of just nutty stuff going on here, too, in this case. We're getting tweets coming out that the judge was irate. So here's one of those tweets. I'll share it with you here real quick. Mershon grows irate, begins excoriating Robert Costello, which was the witness that came on after Cohen today, on the stand for making a few offhand remarks, rolling his eyes during the testimony. Mershon, are you staring me down right now? Costello, I'm not. Mershon, get out of the courtroom now. Get out of the courtroom. And the video's cut. Fireworks, right? So Mershon, visibly exasperated because Costello was blowing this case to bits and pieces. It wouldn't continue, literally. If it were legal, if we're following the law, this case would be over. Visibly exasperated, hastily ends the day's proceedings, implores jurors not to research the case through media, email, telephone, text, or the internet. You know they're going to do exactly that. Of course they're going to do that. Reminds them they should not Google or discuss the case outside of the courtroom. Maybe. Abruptly says, have a good night, then cuts out the video. On hot mic, urges Costello to step down from the witness stand. Mershon is obviously disgusted by Costello, whose testimony has thrown a huge wrench into Bragg's case, unlike anything we have seen thus far in this entire show. Fireworks. Yep, that's the word of the day today. Fireworks, my friends. That's exactly what's going on. It's really kind of fascinating to watch. I don't know about you, but, this is a popcorn moment, right? This is a moment where, the tide's turning. We talked about this, right? We talked about this a lot. We said the tide here is going to turn. And certainly it is now. I see it. I don't know, you may not be paying that close attention to this thing, but I see the tide turning for sure. So if this was the last case that they hoped to get Trump on, to put him in jail, to get him off the campaign trail, and it's falling apart, then the real question you need to ask yourself at this point is, okay, what are they going to pull next? Right? Eyes open, heads up. What are they going to pull next? This plan didn't work. What's the next plan going to be? Maybe we shouldn't be asking that question, because they're going to come up with something. You know they're going to come up with something. Oh, hey, how about a quick coffee break? SBGAscent.com. Lance's company, Lance Schottler, he's going to be a guest again, I think in a week or so. We have him scheduled to come back on. And he's a real stickler for quality. All the nutritional supplements that he offers on his website, really, really good stuff. We use them and love them. And also his coffee is really, really good. For those of you who are coffee drinkers, you got to try this stuff. I know it's a little bit more pricey than the stuff that you get in the supermarket, but your health is worth it. This is mycotoxin free and mold free. What that means is you're not getting any toxins, because these toxins are really, really bad for your health, and they're in most coffees that are sold today. So this is Simple Origin. This comes from Guatemala. He knows a family farm down there, and he gets it from there. Tasty notes of almonds and caramel, which is really fun. And they have both medium and dark roast. And you can have whole bean or grind. That's pre-ground for you. So lots of choices there. Give it a shot. SBG Ascent, A-S-C-E-N-T, SBGAscent.com is where you'll go to find out more about Lance's great products. He's got about 70 different products online on his website, so there's a lot of stuff to choose from. We're going to talk about more of his products as we go forward. We're going to have him on. We'll have specific conversations with him about specific ailments and things that can help and that kind of thing. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with Lance as we go forward here. Okay. I wonder why this camera keeps doing this. It's a brand new camera, by the way. Just got it. Literally, just, there we go. It shouldn't keep moving, but it keeps moving for some reason. I'm not touching any of the controls. All right. Donald Trump was speaking at the NRA this morning. You know what he said? He said this. Okay. So the real Biden's not there, but we've got this actor in place. So why does he play so incompetent? You can make an actor do anything. Why not pretend that he's competent? Okay, who's really controlling the avatar? According to SGAnon, it's our side that's controlling him. That's why they're making him look as bad as possible, to wake up as many people as possible. It's the only plausible, explanation I've seen. So we'll see. It'll be really interesting. Okay. Venezuela's in the news today. They are banning crypto mining to protect what? The power grid. You can't make some of this stuff up. So according to a local news outlet, Venezuela's Ministry of Electric Power has unveiled plans to disconnect cryptocurrency mining farms from the national grid. The move aims to regulate excessive energy consumption and guarantee stable power for the population. An ex-post from Venezuela's National Association of Cryptocurrencies stated that crypto mining is now prohibited in Venezuela. I wonder if it's prohibited if you have solar panels. Good question. The move follows a recent crackdown involving confiscation of 2,000 crypto mining devices. The city of Maracay, as part of an anti-corruption initiative, cryptocurrency mining has hefty electricity demands. They do use a lot of power. In response, some countries such as China and Kazakhstan have implemented stringent regulations and outright bans on the practice. Now, I had a buddy who bought a crypto mining operation in upstate New York, and the one that he bought was right next door to a power plant. So he bought the power plant as well. That's how much energy these things take. And he was mining Bitcoin, and I don't know if you know anything about these miners, but they are basically NVIDIA video cards is what they are, and they run at full power. Full power. Oh, you know what's happening? This camera's responding to hand gestures. I got to turn that off. And I wanted to do that. Don't do that, camera. Oh, boy. I'm going to keep playing with this thing all day. I just know it. Stop it now. Okay. So we got to, no. Oh, the fun of having a brand new camera. So yeah, the crypto uses a lot of power, and he had a power plant right next to it. Why? Because he needed vast amounts of power for thousands of these crypto mining machines. They're little boxes with fans on the front and the back, and then they need an enormous amount of cooling because they are running at full speed. So if you ever notice on your computer, when you're streaming video or you're watching a lot of videos, all of a sudden your fans kick in and they start spinning faster, well, your computer is drawing a lot of power, right? So this crypto mining uses video cards because they're faster at this kind of calculation than the regular CPUs are. So they use the GPU instead, but they use a lot of power and they generate a lot of heat. So what you need to do is you need to have, so now they're saying, okay, we're going to get rid of this. But I think there may be more to this story. We're going to dig into this a little bit because I think there may be more here. Why would you want to ban cryptocurrency from being mined? In other words, you're creating new coins. You're creating money literally out of nothing. So once the coin is created, what do? You put it on the market and you can sell it, right? You're not buying it from everybody. You're creating it by these very complex mathematical equations that the computers chop away at and work through. Then what? Then they can put it on the market, they can sell it. Well, why don't they want that? Well, then you become very wealthy. Whoever's doing it can become very wealthy. And it's very difficult to track, right? Because a lot of the cryptocurrency transactions are anonymous. Maybe there's more to this story that we don't know about. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Interesting. Okay. Bally's is in the news today. This is kind of an interesting story as well. This is from Zero Hedge. 72-year-old woman who hoped to take her winnings to buy a trailer for her son is now being told by Bally's in Atlantic City that the $2 million jackpot she claims she won was invalid and the result of a technical glitch. So she wins $2 million, and they don't want to pay her now. This is interesting. As a result, Bally's, along with game manufacturer IGT, are refusing to pay the money out. Gambler Ronnie Beale, this is her name, told ABC News that at the end of February, she went to Bally's and dumped hundreds of dollars into a Wheel of Fortune machine. Then, according to her, the unthinkable happened. She hit a $1.2 million jackpot with a 2x multiplier. It went off and says, "You're a winner," and gold coins popped out. This very nice guy says, "Oh my God, you hit it, you hit it." He said, "Lady, you're a millionaire." And I'm like, "Oh my God." So she was all excited that she became a millionaire. So cool. Then, according to her, after the slot went off, she hit the service button. And that's when the machine displayed a tilt message. I wonder why she hit the service button. Interesting. That's when the sentences came up, titled, "When a man came over to talk to me, said, 'Lady, get it in your head, you won nothing.'" A similar incident happened in 2000. IGT took the position that look, even though aesthetically these symbols came up, it wasn't a win because the computer says it wasn't a win. In that case, the jury decided IGT had to pay the $1.3 million jackpot. Yeah, according to Zero Hedge, the house always wins. True, right? I think she'll win this one. If she goes to court, hopefully somebody got a video or something of it, she may actually have a chance of winning and getting paid. Really strange that, what happened to morality? What happened to all the things you're supposed to do and do it right and do it well? What happened to all of that? Kind of weird, kind of odd that they would actually say, "Oh, he didn't win anything." Well, wait a minute. The machine said I won. Gold coins popped out of the machine. You hit the jackpot, and then they go, "Oh, that was a glitch." Then this tilt message comes up, whatever, and I don't know if she hit the service button. I don't know why you would hit the service button. That's a little puzzling. Maybe she was just in the moment and didn't know. Maybe she wanted, I don't know. I don't know what the deal was there. But it'll be interesting to see, what ends up happening there, because it's interesting, to say the least. All right. Got a couple of quick little videos to share with you that are kind of fun. And then from there, we'll wrap up for today and have fun. I'm having a lot of fun here today. This commercial is kind of funny because earlier in my life I was a commercial photographer and I was doing fashion photography for my portfolio in school and just out of school when I graduated the Dawson Institute of Photography. So this has a lot of resonance for me, but this is not about photography. This is about, say, it's like, I want one of those, right? The commercial is really effective in that way. I gotta tell you, there's so much trickery in the photography world. This is, when I was in the photo world, commercially, professionally, in the 80s, we had to do so much to make things look great because we didn't have Photoshop. We didn't have anything like that. Time Magazine had just bought a Cytex machine for millions of dollars where they could start to begin to manipulate photos. But it wasn't anything like we have today. So no CGI, and now AI is taking over from CGI. So it's kind of interesting that a lot of that stuff brings back a lot of memories for me. I remember photographing, doing a photo shoot for Subway sandwiches, the company Subway, and they had 2 stylists to make the sandwich. What do you mean 2 stylists to make the sandwich? Yeah. One would do the lettuce and one would do the meats. And they had the bread and they would put it on the set. And once it was on the set for 3 minutes, they would take it off and replace it and put another one there. Why? Because they didn't want it to look bad. Right? So it was all the trickery. You'd photograph a steak, a raw steak. You'd coat it in motor oil to make it look shiny and good. Like couldn't eat it, but it was all about the visual. So we did a lot of tricks back then in the studio. It was kind of an interesting world to be in. Today, most of that's replaced because you can do CGI. So here's a guy that has an interesting way of looking at things.
You mind if we ask you a quick question?
Sure, go ahead. What you got?
We're doing a survey and we're asking people, what would you do if somebody broke into your house with the intentions to rob and harm your family?
Oh, I'd call 811.
811? You mean 911?
No, 811, because I'm going to need to know where to dig a hole.
He has a point. Guy has a point. I think a lot of us are kind of feeling that way, right? It's just like, yeah, we're turning back internally and looking at how strong we can be, and taking back our country means it's going to come back to us. Our leaders are not leading, so where's it going to come back to? It comes back to each and every one of us to do that. So he's not wrong. He's certainly not wrong. So interesting. We have one more here I can play for you. I always like to laugh.